Hello, everyone, and welcome to our latest online event here at the University of California, Merced. We are so excited to have you here with us tonight for our huge celebration. Let me go ahead and give you a couple of quick tips before we jump right in. If you need to adjust your audio settings, you can do that in the lower left corner of your screen by clicking the audio settings button. If you need to adjust the size of your window, go ahead and click on view options in the upper portion of your screen. Lastly, and most importantly, we are all here to get to your questions tonight and help you celebrate your admissions here to UC Merced. So please take advantage of that Q&A button located at the lower portion of your screen. Send us your questions. We will get to those either behind the scenes or during a live question and answer session at the end of our program this evening. As I said, we are here tonight to celebrate with all of you, our transfer students. We love this population. You all bring such energy and a special spirit to our campus, so we couldn't be more excited to be here tonight with you to help you celebrate becoming a Bobcat. Before we get started into the presentation, let's go over our quick agenda. So we've already checked off number one, a big welcome to you once again. And we will be going over what happens next now that you've been admitted. We also have a giveaway for UC Merced swag, so stick around for that. Another exciting part of our program this evening is a student highlight panel towards the end, including that question and answer session. So you definitely want to be around for that so we can get to all your questions, and you can also hear firsthand experiences from our current Bobcats. As I mentioned, we do have another swag giveaway, so we will have two of those tonight, exclusive for those of you who are in attendance tonight with us here live during our event. We do then at the end have some quick closing remarks, and then we will get on with our evening. My name is Ricky Hill. I'm the e-recruiter here at UC Merced. It is my great honor and privilege to be here with you this evening to moderate this great event to help you celebrate your admissions as a transfer student. We do also have a social media giveaway. We don't want to miss out on this. The instructions are on your screen, so if you'd like to go ahead and do a screenshot, you can reference this later on. We will also share the screen with you towards the end of the event so that you can have another quick look at it. But basically all the instructions are there. You just need to go on to our Instagram account. That information is on your screen, the Life at UC Merced. You just need to do a quick follow of that account, drop in your favorite celebration emoji, and also tag a friend. Rufus Bobcat would be a great person to tag if you don't have someone else on Instagram that you think might want to be tagged in this contest. As it also says there on your screen, we will be doing a live giveaway through Instagram Live. That will be happening tomorrow. The date and time are listed there specifically on the screen, so make sure that you tune in for that. We'd love to see you there again. However, you do not have to be present to win, so just a little more information there. However, we would love to see you on that live with us so that we can say another quick hello and help you celebrate a little bit more tomorrow. At this time, it is my great privilege to hand things over to my friend and colleague, Sheila.
Thank you, Ricky. So good evening, everyone. My name is Sheila Zhang, and I am the Assistant Director of Transfer Initiatives here at UC Merced. I see a lot of names who I've met with virtually and in person. So it's really great to be able to celebrate tonight and congratulate you on being admitted to UC Merced. As you know, the pathway to transfer is not always the easiest. I know many of you are majoring in majors that require you to take a lot of calculus courses and science courses and writing courses. And being admitted to UC Merced is just a testament of your accomplishments and the hard work and efforts that you've put into ensuring that you pass your classes, you meet the major preparation and the application process as well, going through all of those steps and submitting that application to UC Merced. And I really just want to emphasize the importance that that transfer students bring to our campus. Transfer students, once you get on campus, sometimes students tend to think that, oh, it's going to be hard, but transfer students come to UC Merced and they really thrive. And we really value the contributions and the diversity that our transfer students bring to the campus. You possess a great wealth of knowledge as well as just experience. And we do see here that once our transfer students get to the campus, they are really able to succeed in their majors and the programs and really find a space to thrive. So I really just want to congratulate you all on being admitted to UC Merced for fall of 2022 and to celebrate the accomplishments and all of the hard work that you've put into being here today. So tonight we are here to celebrate you and your accomplishments on being admitted to our campus. You will be able to hear from our transfer advising team on the next steps of the admissions process, as well as meet some of our transfer student ambassadors who have also transferred and gone through that route themselves, and hear them share a little bit more about their experience to UC Merced. So without further ado, I'm gonna hand the mic over to introduce our transfer advising team, and we're gonna go ahead and get started on the next steps presentation. That way you can get some information on what the next steps are now that you've been admitted. So congratulations, and I'll pass the mic over to Mariah to introduce herself.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mariah Tresvant, and I am the Merced Promise Admissions Advisor. As a fun fact, I was right where you guys are at one point in time. I am a UC Merced alum, as well as a former transfer student to the institution. So congratulations on your admission. We're so happy for you guys, and we're so happy that you guys are going to be a part of our community. So now I'm going to go ahead and pass the mic over to Marceni to introduce herself.
Hello, welcome everyone. My name is Marceni Bedoy, and I'm the transfer advisor for the North Central Valley region. I am also a transfer student, and I transferred from Modesto Junior College. Now I'll pass it to Nancy.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nancy. I'm the South Valley transfer advisor for the Office of Admissions. I'm originally from LA. I'm also a transfer student from Merced College and a UC Merced alumni from the class of 2021. Congratulations on becoming a Bobcat.
All right, thank you so much, Nancy. So let's go ahead and begin this slide here where we talk about building the future in the heart of California. So as many of you may see here on this map shows the location of California as well as where UC Merced is located. At UC Merced, we like to say that we are in the heart of California and we are building the future in the heart of California. We have a total of 9,093 students and more than 200 clubs and organizations. One of the really cool things about UC Merced is that if you are interested in a club and organization, you can join one. Or if you want to start your own club and organization, you actually have the opportunity to do that. All you really need is a president, a vice president, a secretary, and a treasurer, and a club advisor. So how cool is it? Because you can actually be the founding president of a club or an organization. You'll see here some of the rankings that our university has placed in. So even though we are still a growing university and we are still expanding, our campus has placed in the top 100 of public universities in the nation and number 38 among public institutions. We're also number 1 in the nation for percentage of students who do receive need-based aid. UC Merced is also ranked number 17 for best undergraduate teaching in the nation, as well as number 3, I think, for Young University, and number 12 for most transformative colleges. Now, these rankings don't just happen by themselves. They happen because of students like you who bring the contributions to the campus. So it's really a testament to the amazing work that our students and our professors and staff are doing here at UC Merced. And you can be part of this community that we are building here in the heart of California. All right, next slide. All right, so we do have admitted student events and activities that are taking place throughout this month, especially for transfer students. We have had past webinars, so if you've attended any of our Become a Bobcat series webinars and want to revisit some of that information, we do have recordings available for that. But in this month, we are highlighting our resources for transfer students. So we do have upcoming next steps presentations where we will provide more details on the steps that you need to take to ensure that you are on track to securing your admissions and the enrollment process. We also have our financial aid webinars that have been already recorded for the past months that we've had. And then we have information on housing, transportation, and dining, as well as student life. So you can find all of the webinars that are taking place and have been recorded on our admitted.ucmerced.edu website. All right, in this slide here, I'll go ahead and pass it over to Nancy to talk a little bit more about campus tours.
Thank you, Sheila. As Sheila was mentioning, we always have events on campus. Some of the stuff that we have going on too that our students can get involved would be our campus tours. We have several campus tours. We have our guided tours, which you can come in on campus and be given a tour by one of our tour guides. We have our virtual tour, so if you're not able to attend in person, you can always come in virtually and see the campus that way as well. We also have our live self-guided tours and our interactive virtual tours, which, like I said, if you're not able to come on campus, you can always just go online. If you call the phone number, our 209-228-6316, that is our tours on campus where you'll be able to call them and make an appointment at your best convenience, or you can always visit our website and our email. There is a QR code at the bottom, which you'll be able to scan, and it'll take you directly to the website as well. Next slide. Another event, which you'll be able to have the opportunity to also see the campus, is our transfer day. It is on May 18th on a Wednesday, and we'll be having 2 sessions where you'll be able to have a special day with your family and be able to explore the university, learn what we have to offer on our academic and student life. So save the date. And now I'll be passing it over to my colleague Mariah, and she'll be going over the Connect platform.
Thank you so much, Nancy. All right, so now let's discuss the UC Merced Connect portal. Connect is going to be your primary connection to all things UC Merced. You will be able to view your admissions decisions if you have not already been able to. You'll be able to complete your student checklist items. You'll also have the opportunity to view your financial aid award letters, register for courses, and also access your UC Merced email. If you are new to Connect, you will have to first claim your UC Merced Net ID prior to gaining access to your portal, but it's a very easy and quick process. All you need to do is receive a claim number. If you have not already received it in your personal email, you are able to get a very fast Net ID or claim number so that you can have access to your portal. But now let's take a look at what it looks like when you actually enter the Connect homepage on the next slide. All right, so here is a snapshot of what the Connect homepage should look like for you. As an admit, you should have been greeted with an awesome congratulatory video and some beautiful icons that you'll definitely grow to be familiar with during this time frame. Some of those icons include the My Admissions tab, where you can view your admissions decision and also submit your statement of intent to register. You'll see the My Financial Aid icon where you can view your award letters. We also have an icon for admissions events where you can go and register for upcoming and useful events that we have going on for our new admits. There's also the My Checklist icon that consists of requirements that need to be completed for each and every student. And we will go into what that looks like momentarily, but then you also have the My Housing icon. And for those of you who plan to live on campus, you can visit the My Housing icon to actually submit a housing application. And lastly, there is the My Course Updates. For those of you who have changes to your spring 2022 schedule, such as withdrawals from courses, or if you happen to receive a D or F grade in any of your spring courses, you will have to submit a My Course Update. So do keep that in mind. For now, let's take a closer look at the Understanding My Checklist icon. So here's a snapshot of your personalized checklist, and this also means that the checklist might look a little different from other students' checklists. The checklist does consist of requirements that you'll have to complete, as well as the office that's requesting that item and the deadline that you must submit that requirement by. You may complete the requirement by directly selecting the blue hyperlink that you see on the screen. And just as a note, if you do happen to see the red circle with the X, that does mean that the requirement is incomplete. If you happen to see a yellow triangle, that means that we have received and are reviewing the submitted task. And if you do happen to see a green check mark, that means that the item is complete. Also keep in mind that these indicators may not always change right away once you submit a task. So do give it a day or two to make sure that that updates, and of course, reach out to us if there are any issues. Last but not least, on the next slide, Please remember to submit your statement of intent to register by June 1st. The SIR is essentially your response to our offer of admissions. Otherwise, we will assume that you will not be joining us this fall, very sadly. So just make sure that you get that in by the deadline. And as always, the sooner the better. Now I'm going to go ahead and pass the mic back over to Ricky so that she can continue with our giveaways.
Thank you so much, Mariah. Yes, we are at that exciting time in this event. We would like to go ahead and go into our live giveaways. So we are going to go ahead and randomly draw some names from those of you in attendance. Congratulations to our 5 winners. You will be receiving a swag little package in the mail. So UC Merced, one of those items, I'll give you a little hint, is a UC Merced t-shirt, but you might have a couple of other surprises in there as well. So we hope that you're excited to get that information in the mail and hopefully also start sharing your Bobcat spirit, posting some selfies, tagging us on social media, and just get in that Bobcat state of mind. All right, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and continue on with this presentation and go into housing.
Thank you, Ricky. So moving to housing, let's talk a little bit about housing and the new academic walk. This is a snapshot of it. So not too long ago, the academic walk was completed. The academic walk includes new residence halls like the Granite Pass and the Glacier Point Hall, and also the living learning communities. The Glacier Point and Granite Pass residence hall also include academic classrooms on the first floor, which is really cool. We also have student support services that they are located within the really easy access from the residence halls. So for those of you that are interested in living on campus, we have the new residential halls and living learning communities available for you to connect. And for transfer students who do plan to live on campus, if you are coming in for fall 2022, there is a 1-year housing guarantee. In the next slide, we have different pictures that showcase the pavilion and our residential halls. And like I mentioned in the last slide, a little bit about the living learning communities. They provide you with opportunities to learn life skills and good habits for learning, developing your major career pathway, and engage with your classmates and friends who will become your family. Also at UC Merced, we strive to keep the campus community safe as possible. So our full service UC Merced Police Department is always on call. There are big blue emergency lights all over campus, which are direct lines to the police dispatcher. So in the event of a critical incident, messages are sent out to students, staff members, and faculty by text message or email immediately using the UCM alert. Now I can go over how to apply for housing. So now in the housing application did open in March. So here's how you can apply for housing. If you are interested in applying for housing, here are the steps. First, you will need to submit your SIR by June 1st. This date is important, so keep this in mind. Next, you will need to wait 24 hours for that information to go through our system. And so after the 24 hours, you can visit housing.ucmerced.edu and submit your housing application. The deadline for that is June 6th. And just remember that you must sign your contract by June 9 if you do plan on living on campus. All right. So now that we kind of briefly went over housing, I will pass it over to my colleague Sheila, and she will share a little bit more about financial aid.
Thanks, Marceni. So here at UC Merced, we do want you to know that you can afford attending UC Merced. Here are some statistics from our 2020-2021 academic year. So 91% of UC Merced students do receive financial aid, and $18,186 is the average annual gift aid offered to eligible UC Merced students. We are ranked number 2 for public university in the nation for the least amount of debt, and we're recognized as the #1 public university in the nation for percentage of students who do receive need-based aid scholarship or grant aid. Now, you should be able to view your financial aid award on your student checklist and your Connect portal. If you have any questions regarding your financial aid award, feel free to reach out to our financial aid office or schedule an appointment with us at the Student First Center to go over this information. We are here and we want to make sure that you have the accessibility to afford an education at UC Merced. All right, now let's go on to the next slide where we're going to just do a brief overview of the next steps timeline. So feel free to take a picture of this or take a screenshot of this on your screen. This is pretty much a breakdown of the next steps timeline and what it would look like. So we are now in the month of May. And so from April through May, we've had admitted student events. And in this month of May, we are going to continue our admitted student events for transfer students. May 18th, as we've mentioned earlier in this presentation, is Transfer Day. So we hope to see you all at Transfer Day. June 1st, once again, very important date. This is the transfer statement of intent or SIR deadline. So if you are planning to attend UC Merced, this is the deadline to submit your statement of intent to register. There are also multiple deadlines that you should also keep in mind for June 1st, such as financial aid documents, orientation registration. And as Mariah shared on your student checklist, you can actually find all of these deadlines on that checklist, as well as the specific office and date that it's due. June 5th is the transfer statement of legal residency deadline. Some of you may have this on your checklist. Some of you may not have it on your checklist. If you do have the SLR or statement of legal residency that, requirement on your checklist, you want to make sure that you submit this by June 5th. And as we've mentioned for housing, if you plan to live on campus, June 6th is the transfer housing application deadline. So definitely look at some of the options for housing. If you plan to live on campus, our housing website does allow you to see the different floor plans as well as housing plans and meal plans. If you plan to live off campus, we do have a tab that allows you to see what is available off campus for students who plan to live off campus instead of on campus. Mid-June, you will receive course registration information. I know for many of you, you have questions about how you're going to register for classes, as well as which classes you might be taking in the fall. That information will be coming mid-June from your academic advisor, and they will let you know how you should register for classes, as well as which courses you should be registering for. July 1st is also a very important date. This is when you should be submitting your official records and having them postmarked to the Office of Admissions. So we want to make sure that we get your official transcripts, and July 1st is that deadline to have your official transcripts postmarked to the Office of Admissions. Now, for those of you who have AP or IB exams and want to receive transferable credit for it, July 15th is the deadline to submit any test scores to the Office of Admissions. Now, as we approach August 1st is the deadline for student health insurance waiver deadline. Now, the UC does require that students have health insurance. If you don't have health insurance, that will be part of your cost of attendance. If you have your own health insurance or you are covered for by a parent or a guardian or a spouse's health insurance, you can choose to try to waive this fee. So if you are trying to waive the health insurance fee, the August 1st is the deadline. August 17th is the deadline to pay for your tuition and fees, and you will do this by clicking on your student checklist, which will take you to the portal to pay for your tuition and fees. Now, for those of you who plan to live on campus, in mid-August, we have university move-in days. So there are specific dates that are scheduled for you to move into your dorm rooms and your residential halls. So be on the lookout for that for those of you who are planning to live on campus. And last but not least, August 24th is when instruction begins. Basically, what that means is that you are going to be starting your first classes here at UC Merced on August 24th. So that's pretty much the next steps timeline. If any of you have questions regarding this timeline or would like a more detailed breakdown of the next steps timeline, we'll go ahead and put our admitted next steps website on the chat link for you to reference. All right, I'm going to pass it back to Ricky.
All right, so at this point, we'd like to move on now to our student highlight and panel. So I'd like to go ahead and start off with some introductions. And first, we will go over to Maricela. Welcome, Maricela.
Hi, everyone. My name is Maricela. I am a transfer student from SoCal. I transferred from Mount San Antonio College, which is in Walnut. My hometown is La Puente. I will be graduating in spring of 2023. My major is public health. And my minor is political science because I want to concentrate on creating, overlooking, and implementing policies or laws. Why I chose UC Merced. One of the reasons why I chose UC Merced is because of the public health program. I transferred during that pandemic, and I saw the inequalities within my community that want me to do more, right? So going into the public health program at UC Merced was one of the things that I thought it was important not only for me, but as well for my community, because it is important to be informed of all the health inequalities that faced by our community, and it kind of want to make you do more for your community and create change. As of now, I am a student ambassador, so I work under admissions. I am also a part of our community engagement program, our leadership program, and our activities board, in which I help create events for our campus. My plans after UC Merced is to stay at least a year or two in Merced and kind of work with nonprofits organizations on bringing awareness of the inequalities faced by low-income individuals and underrepresented communities at Merced County.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jacqueline. I am a third-year transfer to UC Merced. My hometown is Turlock, California, which is about 30 minutes north from Merced. And I'm set to graduate in spring of 2023. And my major is political science, while my minor is in Spanish. I chose UC Merced because of for many reasons, but most importantly because I thought it was important to have diversity, and UC Merced very much has that. And I resonate with a lot, not only other transfer students, but also other students with, their first generation. They're the first in their family to go to a higher education, get a higher education, and things like that. But also because of the student to professor ratio. At UC Merced, there is a plethora of classes where you will be in a classroom with 30 or less students in a classroom with a professor. And I wanted that. And also as for campus involvement, I'm also a student ambassador here at UC Merced. And also, I am part of the Pre-Law Society at UC Merced, which is focuses on getting you acquainted with other attorneys and legal partners, getting you with internships with other lawyers, setting you up for the LSAT. Things like that. And also outside, I am currently interning for a California state senator that is up for re-election. So that's really exciting, which was also given to me by a professor. I'm really grateful for that. And then as for plans after UC Merced, I plan to attend law school and also do some work in the state capitol if permitted.
Hi, everyone. My name is Adeline. I also go by Addie, easier for other people. My hometown is Livermore, California. I'm currently a fourth year. I transferred to UC Merced in fall of 2020. I'm expected to graduate spring of 2024. I am a double major, so I am majoring in both chemistry and psychology. Why I chose UC Merced was I always had a dream of attending a UC. And so when I found out about the diversity and community at UC Merced, I knew I wanted to come here. And the smaller class sizes helped me make individual connections with my professors, which has gotten me opportunities to be involved in a lot of research. And the community at UC Merced makes me feel like I belong somewhere and that I'm truly capable of success. As for campus involvement, I am a current student ambassador, so I work for the Office of Admissions. I am part of a Panhellenic sorority on campus, Phi Mu. I am part of the undergraduate research. I am part of the program UC Leads, and I'm also part of the Order Omega, which is an honor society. After UC Merced, I plan to apply to grad school, either in the country or out of the country. I want to earn my PhD in chemistry and/or psychology, and then I hope to become involved in research at a national lab or institute or return to academia.
Wonderful. Thank you all so much for your great introductions. I'm going to go ahead now and welcome all of our panelists on the screen and go ahead and stop our PowerPoint so we can all see each other here. And we'd like to go ahead and jump into some of our incoming questions. We have great questions that are coming in. So let's go ahead. Thank you all so much for joining me here on screen. Let's go ahead and take a look here. I will start the first question with Adeline, if you don't mind. The first question is, how was the transition from community college to UC Merced?
So surprisingly for me, I was kind of worried about how it would be coming from a community college to such a larger school, but surprisingly the transition wasn't too bad. I kind of went through it a little more like I'm still in college, I still have all these skills I've learned from community college, and so I'm pretty much adapted to that sort of system and way of working. However, I would say the biggest thing for me was making connections because I am a transfer. I wasn't a first year, so I didn't have all those people I came into UC Merced with. So definitely the transition wasn't too bad, but definitely try and reach out to people who you're transferring with to make those connections and build your community.
That's great advice. Thank you so much for that. Anyone else want to share with that question about the transition from community college to UC Merced?
I can share. It was the untraditional route than most people take. Usually people go straight out of high school into a 4-year, but I personally will say I was not ready, not necessarily for a 4-year, but to leave home. I'm very close to my family, so that was a big factor as to why I chose to go the community college route. I did my first 2 years at Modesto Junior College, and from there, the counselors did help me navigate, and also the person that I really am grateful for is my counselor at MJC. So also, they got me in contact with people here at UC Merced, which was also very helpful, especially the Student First Center. They redirected me to where I needed to go, anything from financial aid to registering for my classes. I'm also very grateful for my advisor here in the Shaw Department, which is the Social Sciences and Humanities Department in the Arts. She has helped me through my navigation with planning my courses for the next year. And yeah, I'm very happy with the outcome of this. And yeah.
Wonderful, thank you. And Maricela, would you like to add your story as well? The transition between community college and UC Merced.
So I live 5 hours away from UC Merced. One of the things that made my transition smooth is that I connected with people. I attended webinars, and so I connected with the presenters. I reached out to programs that I knew I could be part of. For example, I reached out to services from documented students as well as the Guardian College program, and they kind of connected me to people. So when I got here, I already knew who to go to for if I needed the support. And because each program also has like for incoming students, they have like certain social. So I was able to connect with also peers that were also transferring. So I think that's what made my transition smooth.
Wonderful, thank you. And Maricela, let's go ahead and stick with you and we'll start this next question. How do you like the professors at UC Merced? What's that experience been like working with them?
So I have experience of visiting their office hours. I have attended virtual as well as in person. One of the good things about having smaller classes is that I was surprised that my professors, even though in the class of 150, like he knew my name, like he knew what my ultimate goals was. And so he was able to outreach and let me know of like opportunities available on and off campus. I thought that was very important to like my success especially during my first semester, because I didn't know anyone. but having that conversation with, being able to have conversation with faculty during the office hours, I think that makes a difference in our academics. And I try to attend as much as I could because they always give you a different perspective. Like, even though if you don't know what to ask, you can always go in there. Like, professors like to be asked, like, oh, what research are you doing? Or what have you investigated? Like, those little questions kind of make a difference between the relationship that you have with the student and the professor.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that insight. Do either of our other panelists want to talk about that experience with professors?
Yeah, I can add on to that. Like Maricela said, the professors, even in a room full of 100 people, will know your name. Maricela is actually in one of my classes and with Professor Denny that teaches public policy. And she knows your name. Like, by the end of the semester, which we're reaching towards that, she will know your name if you're active in class, if you participate and you join in. And professors do like to be asked questions. So don't be afraid to reach out to them and ask them if you don't understand the material, because they are there to help. They are there to help you, and they are genuinely such great people. I've had such good experiences with all my professors here at UC Merced, and yeah, so they also are there to, get you connected with other people at UC Merced, whether it be internships or shadowing or research within the university. Just be active and reach out to them if, like, hey, do you by any chance have any connections with so-and-so? And they're happy to be there for you. Like I mentioned earlier, one of my professors got me in contact with someone doing a campaign, and now I'm interning for a California state senator that's up for re-election. And I'm really excited, and I'm really grateful for all the professors at UC Merced.
Such amazing experiences. Thank you both for sharing that. I want to make sure we get through all these questions. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one, but I'll start with you, Addie, on this one. What would you recommend for students to consider and getting involved in terms of clubs, internships, research opportunities at UC Merced?
So for me, when it came to getting involved in organizations and clubs, I definitely kept a lookout on social media. I do know a lot of clubs and organizations are very active on social media. So I kept an eye out for that and sort of looked at when their general meetings were going to be held, when they would be doing any sort of recruitment events to get new members into their clubs and orgs. So that's one way I definitely recommend getting involved in organizations and clubs. As for research, for me, I definitely had a hard time at first getting into research. I applied for a lot of internships and ultimately actually was denied to all of them. I then, however, was reached out to by a professor, because not only do professors look at, like, if you apply to an internship, they look at your overall grades. And I was reached out by a professor who said, based on your grades, like, you look like you excel in this department, and I want to offer you this position. And so that's how I got involved in some of my research. But ultimately, I just say, if you want to get involved in internships or research, reach out to your professors and also apply for everything that you think you qualify for. Even if you don't qualify for it, apply to it, because it's a great learning experience.
That is awesome advice. Thank you so much for that. The next question I want to touch on, like I said, we do have quite a few coming through, so I want to make sure that we do get a chance to touch on most of these. This next one has to do with applying for campus jobs. So I'll hand this over to either Maricela or Jacqueline, since one of you haven't spoken in the last question. How did you apply for campus jobs?
I can answer this question. So one resource I went to was Handshake. So that is on the UC Merced website. Handshake is basically in a platform where you could go and put in your school or university name, and then it basically generates every single job opportunity that's open at the school. So whether it be working at the pavilion or working as a student ambassador, or even being a tour guide. So there's a lot of options on campus. Basically in any department, and you would submit, your resume and then a cover letter. And then from there, it's just, it's a waiting game for them to reach out to you. And apart from jobs, there's also internship opportunities on Handshake. So it's basically the same process as, applying to a job, which is a resume and a cover letter. And then from there, you can find something. But there's definitely a lot of options on campus. And there's also student where you can work and do work study. So, that would go towards your tuition or whatever needs to be paid towards your education at UC Merced. Or you could also just work and, fund anything else that would be needed for yourself.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that. Now we do have a couple more specific admissions-based questions. So I'm going to invite Sheila back on with us. And the first one I will hand over to Sheila is, welcome Sheila, is going to be, do transfer students need to participate in placement exams?
That's a great question, Ricky. So some of you may need to take math or chemistry placement exams, depending on your major. We'll go ahead and share the link to the School of Natural Sciences and Engineering placement exams. Now, these are very specific to certain majors, as well as the courses that you plan to take. So I'm going to go ahead and put the link on the chat for all of you to reference. If you do have any questions for the placement exams as well, there is contact information for those placement exams. So the placement exams will vary depending on your major, as well as the courses that you might need to take that fall within that major. Great question. I'll put the link on there, as well as the contact information for you, because I want to make sure that you get connected with the academic advisors and get the correct information for your placement exams.
Fantastic. Thank you, Sheila. One more question before you hop back off the screen. When do transfer students typically meet with their admissions advisors?
Yeah, so if you are wanting to meet with an admission advisor, that would be me, Mariah, Marceni, Nancy, Kia, basically anyone in admissions. You can meet with us at any point in time. We'll also put the link for the admission advisors on the chat as well. We do have appointments available on Calendly. So if you want to meet with an admissions advisors to go over the next steps in the admissions process, or any requirements that, or even to walk through your student checklist, we are available to meet with students and to help you navigate this next steps process. Now, admission advisors are different from academic advisors. Now, if you are looking to speak with an academic advisor who is similar to the counselors at the community college, please reach out to us. We can get you connected with who your academic advisor is based on your major. Great question.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, Sheila, for hopping back on with us, and stay close because we might have more admissions questions for you. The next one, though, I will toss back out to our student panelists here. How is the workload for upper division classes? And I'll open that up. Anyone wants to jump in?
I'll go ahead and answer that. This is as a third year transfer, you go straight into upper division courses. So I personally have had a good experience. Definitely you can go on to, search your courses and pick those out. You can also talk to your advisor about what works best for you, because there are different options on every semester as to what classes work best for you and what's catered to your specific major. So it's different for everybody. I can't speak on my experience, might be different from someone that is in engineering, whereas someone in political science might have a different interest in, let's say one class is political violence, or you might not have interest in that, but you can choose another option as long as it meets your requirements for graduation, or anything that's in your interest. So I would say it's very manageable overall. It's definitely a personal matter. It's a mix of balance and what you're interested in.
Very good. Does anyone else want to talk about your experience with your workload for those upper division classes?
Okay, it's just like Jacqueline said, it's all up to you because you need to time manage your time you're going to dedicate to your academics and the time you're going to dedicate to something else. One of the things that I see similar, like if you have taken an honors course at community college, then you're ready to for upper division courses. Even if you haven't, the professors will go over what you have to do. Most of the courses that I have taken in public health, like it involved that research paper. Like at all my courses I have taken, like at the end, we have to turn in a research paper. But the good thing about the research paper is that it's based on what you want to concentrate on. Like if you want to concentrate on public health and health inequalities, if you want to concentrate on policy making, it's up to the student. So yes, you might hear like, oh, research paper might be a lot, but it's up to your interest. So you get to something, you get to write about something that you're passionate about and then get feedback from your professor.
Fantastic. And Addie, did you want to share your experience?
For me, for upper division courses, it was very different than community college since I took most of my general ed at community college and did actually take some general ed lower division courses here at UC Merced. So the jump from lower division to upper division courses was kind of big for me. I definitely struggled at first, but definitely when it comes to workload, you do want to do all those extra study hours. Definitely don't want to overload yourself with too much, because if you do, there is a chance that you could fall behind on work for these upper division courses, and you definitely want to stay on top of everything.
Great information. And Adeline, let's go ahead and stay with you for this next question. Can you talk about how difficult it is to double major in the social and an academic way, what that was like?
So for me, I originally didn't choose to double major. I was actually a chemistry major with a psychology minor. At first I was like, okay, I'll just minor in it. But when I actually came from community college, I originally thought I was going to major in psychology, but then I fell in love with chemistry at community college and became a chemistry major, but knew I couldn't leave psychology behind. So I ended up double majoring. But academically, it did push me out about a semester, so it wasn't too much. I was originally going to graduate in the fall of 2023. However, I will now be graduating in the spring of 2024. Socially, it didn't hurt me too bad. I will say it does take a lot of work. I do take quite a few units each semester. However, being part of those clubs and organizations helps me to stay very social, but also still on top of my academic workload.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that. I know that insight is really helpful to all of our new incoming students to actually hear firsthand experience from our current Bobcats. So thank you all so much for sharing all of that great information tonight. The next question, I would like to invite Sheila back on for this next one. Hi, Sheila, welcome back with us. All right, is there a way to change a major? And if so, what are the right steps?
Yeah, that's a great question. So it is possible to change your major. However, as a transfer student, you are coming in with lower division coursework and some major preparation. If you are thinking about changing your major right now, it's really important to think about the major that you're changing into and whether or not you have fulfilled some of those major preparation courses for that major. Now, some of our majors in the School of Engineering and the School of Natural Sciences do require that students meet the admission selection preparation in order to change into that major. So if you're coming in and you're not coming in as a natural sciences major or an engineering major, you might want to take a look to see if you have any of those admission selection requirements, because that would be needed if you're planning to change into the School of Natural Sciences and the School of Engineering. Now, with that said, it is possible to change your major, but the major change applies the same way to transfer students that it does for our first-year students. We want to make sure that you have the preparatory coursework to be able to change into that major. So you want to make sure you check out that major, see if you've taken any prep courses for that major. And then the way the process works here is that during your first semester, if you want to change your major, you'll need to meet with your academic advisor. Your academic advisor will walk you through that process, and they'll also let you know if it is possible to change a major. I know there are some questions about double majors as well. That double major process also requires that you work closely with your academic advisor. So if you are planning to change your major or add a double major or a minor, you will need to meet with your academic advisor to walk through what you've already completed from the community college that can be applied to a major change, a double major, or a minor. Great question.
Thank you so much, Sheila. We are getting closer here to wrapping up our event. So let me go ahead and just thank everyone here that has been on our great panel tonight. Like I said, we cannot possibly thank our panelists enough, sharing the firsthand experience as a current Bobcat at UC Merced to our fantastic audience who are getting ready to start school here. So thank you so much for all of that wonderful insight. And of course, to all of our admissions experts who are behind the scenes, and Sheila, who's been popping on and off with us tonight, a huge thank you to you as well. For just a quick moment, we'd like to go ahead and go back to our presentation. And another quick reminder, don't forget we have the social media giveaway. So you know we had some live giveaways earlier tonight and awarded 10 admissions students here coming in as transfer students. So we had 10 winners tonight live, but we do have a social media giveaway. We will be doing a live Instagram tomorrow night. So all the information is on your screen. There are just a couple of rules to qualify to enter, and those, as I said, are listed there. Feel free to take a quick screenshot. You've already accomplished the first one by attending tonight, so go ahead and check that one off your list. Go ahead and follow our Instagram account at @life@UC Merced. Comment with your favorite celebration emoji, because after all, that's what we're here for, is to celebrate your admissions as a UC Merced Bobcat, and also tag one of your friends so that they can follow along in the fun, or you can just mention @Rufus Bobcat. He's always a good one to make friends with there. Like I said, everything else is listed there on the screen. So we'd like to go ahead and have you follow us on Instagram, follow us on all of our social media platforms, which we will be sharing with you in just a little while, as well as we start to wrap up our evening. At this time, I'd like to go ahead and move on to the next portion of our presentation and welcome our great Director of Admissions, Dustin Noji.
Hi, thanks, Ricky. Hi, everyone. And I just want to thank you for joining us tonight. As Director of Admissions from the University of California, Merced, I'm sending a huge congratulations to both you and your supporters that have brought you to this point. Transfer students are an important part of our campus. And as you've heard from our transfer students who are currently at UC Merced, they're involved in a number of activities, both inside and outside the classroom. As a transfer student, something that's really important to know, and as a former transfer student myself, something that I would like you to know is that transfer students do extremely well at UC Merced. When we look nationally at the ability for students to graduate and be retained at a four-year university, transfer students do just as well, if not better, than some of our students who start as first-year students. And so I want to send that word of encouragement to you, to acknowledge that you are some of the best and brightest scholars, both at your current campuses and also when you join UC Merced. And when you join UC Merced, you join a community of scholars. And I say that because in evaluating your applications for admissions, we see a number of different things that you've overcome, your ability to be successful in the classroom, and also to contribute to the knowledge that happens each and every day at any University of California campus, and in particular at UC Merced. So with that, I'd just like to leave you with a few parting words. First, like any campus, the best way to experience our campus individually is to come and visit yourself. And tonight, Ricky's going to leave you with some parting words on ways that you can further explore our campus community and make sure it's the right fit for you. And lastly, as Director of Admissions, I also want to leave you with one final note. Your admissions is conditional based upon the information you provided in your UC application. So it's really important for us to know about any changes to your academic history, any grades that you receive that may be a D, F, or non-passing grades as soon as possible. With that information, our team can look at your current coursework and provide you with possible solutions to resolve your issue, and if not, look at admissions for a future term. And so again, please report any information that might have changed on your UC application utilizing the My Course updates in your Connect portal. And lastly, to leave on a better note, again, I just want to congratulate you and your family on this point in your period of life. Being admitted to UC Merced means being admitted to one of the top 40 public research institutions in the nation. And so on behalf of the University of California, congratulations. I'm going to hand it back over to Ricky to close out our program.
Thank you so much, Dustin. Great closing comments there. We'd like to go ahead and share some very important contact information with our audience tonight. So go ahead again, grab your smartphone, take a quick screenshot or picture of this. There's also a QR code that you can scan there in the lower corner. And you can take a look there and it has all of our contact information, our email address, our phone number there. That's a really important number to save in your phone, the 209-228-7178. We will also drop into our chat box the contact information and website for the Students First Center. I believe we may be having some intermittent website issues tonight. So if you're trying to get to some of these links and you're having trouble, or even later on, if you just have general questions, the Students First Center is a fantastic resource to make sure that you do note that phone number, that you do visit their website and get a time that you can speak with them. You can come in person, email, they've got lots of ways that you can reach out to them. We also have our social media that is here listed on the screen. We mentioned again that social media giveaway, so that is happening on our Instagram page. Hop over there when you have a moment and comment on that prize post and then join us for our Instagram Live tomorrow night. There's also some websites there that we want to make sure that you note. Again, a quick screenshot of that would be very helpful for you in the future. Couple quick announcements before we do wrap up tonight. In case you've missed any of our Become a Bobcat, a virtual series events, we've been having those over the past couple of months. If you've happened to miss any of those, don't worry, we have them all available for you on demand for instant replay on our YouTube channel. You can go over to the Become a Bobcat virtual series website that we will drop into the chat box for you. You can go over there and just click on those replay buttons. They will redirect you over to the YouTube channel where you can find everything related to UC Merced admissions. And so make sure you do take a moment. We've got lots of things there regarding housing, financial aid, transportation, the academic schools. We've pretty much touched on everything that you may have questions about. So if you missed one, hop on over and take a look there. We did also tonight talk about Transfer Day, and that's on May 18th. I do want to hop back over to that slide. So in case you missed it earlier on, you can definitely get a quick screenshot of that. Let's go ahead and pull that one up here for just a quick second. So there you go. There's the date, Wednesday, May 18th. You've got some check-in times there for session 1, session 2. You can go ahead again, take a quick screenshot of that information as well. Also, don't forget that your SIR deadline is going to be June 1st. So another important date to write on a Post-it or on your calendar, put that into your phone. Make sure that you do become a Bobcat. Submit that statement of intent to register with us by June 1st deadline. Lastly, Dustin and many others tonight have mentioned how beautiful our campus is and that we'd love to see you on our great campus so that you can take a look for yourself and get yourself a tour. So we will also drop into the chat box that tour information if you would like to reach out to get that scheduled, or you can always just welcome yourself to our campus and take a self-guided tour as well. We would love to meet you in person. As I said earlier tonight, my name is Ricky Hill. I'm your e-recruiter here at UC Merced. It's been so much fun having you here. Congratulations on becoming a Bobcat. Make sure that you make it official by submitting that statement of intent to register. And one more quick note again, the Students First Center information is in that chat box and it is on the screen in case you are having any follow-up questions or any issues with some websites tonight. You can get those questions answered later on. Once again, it's been a great pleasure. We're so excited that you're here with us tonight. We hope to see you at a future on-campus event or another virtual event. We have a lot of these coming up. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, everybody.